When you wake up in the morning, do you feel low? Not exhausted, just low. Like you need something to feel present. Your phone, coffee, music, stimulation. And throughout the day, do you find yourself reaching for something again? Something to lift the fog? Something to keep you engaged? Something to feel normal? If that sounds familiar, you need to hear this. Because what you're feeling isn't laziness, it's incomplete sleep recovery. And one of the most common drivers of that recovery breakdown is using pornography as a shutdown tool at night. This video is brought to you by my HarperCollins published book, Mind Over Explicit Matter. If you're ready to quit porn and reclaim your life mentally and physically, go over to drtrishleigh.com/book. You're probably thinking, how could stimulation and pornography hurt my sleep when it works so well? Well, it starts with the big D, dopamine. It spikes dopamine intensely. After the spike, there is a rapid fall off. This is why you fall asleep quickly. It feels like relief. But your brain learns, porn helps me shut down. But that shutdown is not real restoration. Think of it like going out and drinking with friends. You probably find it easy to fall asleep afterwards. But the next day, do you feel fresh and recovered? It's not sleep. It's sedation. When you use stimuli to help you sleep, it prevents the brain from completing the recovery work that happens during sleep, especially REM. REM sleep is where your brain does this. It resets dopamine timing. It restores emotional balance. It recalibrates arousal responsiveness. And it stabilizes motivation circuits. When porn is used repeatedly before sleep, dopamine spikes at the wrong time. Sleep still happens, but recovery, it doesn't. It never gets to complete. So the next morning, you wake up under-restored. Your baseline is lower. Effort feels heavier. Focus requires stimulation. You don't feel completely broken. In fact, it can happen so subtly, you may not even notice at first. You just feel like you need something. That, my friend, is what I call dopamine debt. This is where the brain gets hijacked. Porn becomes a sleep aid at night, a dopamine boost during the day. It regulates both ends of your nervous system, and over time, your brain stops regulating on its own. If you want the full hijack, miswire, rewire breakdown, watch the companion video that's linked at the end of this one. That video maps the entire mechanism. This one shows you what changes when you interrupt it. When you stop using porn as a shutdown tool at night, your sleep begins to restore again naturally. And when sleep restores, motivation comes back on its own. This is what my clients report at first. They wake up and they don't need anything immediately. Their brains turn on smoothly instead of being dragged online. Effort feels healthy and sustainable again. Not easy, just doable. Focus lasts longer without stimulation. Energy stays steady instead of crashing. They stop chasing motivation because motivation shows up on its own. They become regulated and comfortable, no longer chasing the feeling of something missing. Okay, now this one is something that men notice later, but it's a doozy. It's significant. Porn-induced erectile dysfunction is not structural damage. It is regulation disruption. It is regulation disruption. High novelty pornography repeatedly pairs arousal with intense dopamine spikes. At the same time, fragmented REM sleep weakens the brain's ability to recalibrate natural arousal pathways. So over time, it can look like this: less consistent morning erections, slower or unreliable responsiveness when you want or need it the most, increased dependence on high intensity stimulation before you're with a partner. Read explicit matter. Reduced sensitivity to real life cues. This isn't a testosterone issue. It's not confidence. It's dopamine timing and nervous system regulation. When sleep completes consistently and dopamine stabilizes, morning erections return. Responsiveness to a partner becomes reliable again. Arousal feels spontaneous instead of high stimulus dependent. Arousal is not primarily a stimulation system. It's a regulation system. When timing restores, function follows. Quitting porn isn't about discipline. It's about recovery. You are not removing pleasure. You are restoring baseline function. You are trading sedation for restoration, and restoration changes absolutely everything. Sleep becomes deeper. Mornings become lighter. Motivation becomes natural. And arousal, well, it becomes responsive. That's not self-control. That, my friend, is regulation. For many men, the brain has practiced shutdown for years. That pattern becomes automatic. Night after night, stimulation replaces restoration. And once the nervous system learns the pattern, it doesn't just stop on its own. That's where brain-based technology regulation training can help. My Regulate First neuroregulation program doesn't rely on willpower. It doesn't suppress urges. It works by stabilizing the brain's rhythms to control sleep, energy, and arousal responsiveness. Over time, fast, active patterns calm down. Deep, restorative sleep strengthens. Dopamine regulation stabilizes. And when sleep restores consistently, motivation returns naturally. So if you've tried to reset this thing on your own and you still wake up feeling low, please go to drtrishleigh.com and book a call. We can map exactly what your brain is doing and build a precise plan to restore regulation. You do not need more discipline. You need restoration. And restoration is, in fact, measurable. If you need stimulation to fall asleep and stimulation to function the next day, your brain isn't broken. It's under-restored. You were never meant to live dependent on intensity just to feel normal. You were built to wake up clear, to move through the day feeling steady, to feel drive without forcing it, to feel responsive without chasing it. So, restore the night and the morning changes. Restore sleep and motivation follows. Restore regulation and your drive comes back online. This isn't about quitting something. It's about reclaiming everything. Control your brain or it will control you. See you next time.